Have you guys been explicit so far about wanting to win a championship this year? And I
Yeah,
guess
I mean, absolutely.
what does success then look like? I mean, is
A
that
championship.
success? Yeah.
Indeed, Caitlin, we are aware that winning the title is the ultimate goal and that you would prefer to ignore the discussion of personal glory. But let's. After a rookie campaign that resembled a Marvel origin story, I'll do it for you because, honestly, someone has to blow your trumpet. Caitlin Clark should have entered 2025 as the obvious MVP frontrunner after breaking 62 records, leading a team from the bottom of the standings to the playoffs and still finishing fourth in the MVP voting. But the media, oh no, clung to their comfort blanket, A'ja Wilson, the same name, the same narrative, and when it wasn't A'ja, they would quickly turn to excuses more quickly than Angel Ree on a missed layup.
But I will say a couple of things. Do I expect A'ja Wilson to be A'ja Wilson again this year? Yes. But I also know there is such a thing as voter fatigue. They don't like giving anybody MVP 3 times in a row. They barely like to do it 2 times in a row, let alone 3 times in a row. I just don't see it simply because of voter fatigue. Like it just is what it is. I also think that Caitlin was putting it together in such a way last year. They're only going to get better. And now they've got a full off season together. I could 100% see this happening. Caitlin Clark winning MVP.
However, the shift has now arrived, and it is noisy.
There we are right there. Caitlin Clark is officially the favorite to win the most valuable player.
After months of shady behavior, FanDuel, MGM, and yes, even ESPN now have Caitlin Clark leading the MVP race. Tide is not trailing, and this isn't just Twitter hype. This is Vegas talking, money talking, and we know what's coming energy, which is supported by receipts. If you agree that Caitlin will win MVP this year, leave a comment below with your CC MVP and let's go.
We're not here to chase greatness. We're here to claim it. Our ambitions don't fit into headlines or highlight reels. So if you thought we arrived,
2 more for Boston.
now you know. We're not here for the moment. We're here for the takeover.
They are gradually lining up, and all of a sudden the tone is a little less arrogant and a lot more serious than it was in 2024, when the media types were rolling their eyes and acting as though they were blind to the explosion in Indiana. While Caitlin might actually be her. The fans were aware for months that Caitlin Clark is not just good, but is also changing the rules. So what's causing the abrupt change? Everything, every sign, every statistic, every summer upgrade screamed MVP season was coming.
So let's start with our 2025 WNBA MVP, and that has to go to the one and only Caitlin Clark.
The league isn't even prepared for Caitlin's impending supernova, but before we dive into her supremacy, hit the like button if you believe she will win MVP and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any of the hot fireworks.
I truly think that this second year for Caitlin Clark is going to be like nothing we have ever seen. She has had an entire offseason to train, to get into the gym, to work on things that she struggled with during her rookie season.
Caitlin's rookie season wasn't just outstanding. It was disrespectful to Logic's 62 records. Let that figure stick with you. The crown jewel is the all-time WNBA single-season assist record as a rookie. That's not just exceptional, it's ridiculous, and she accomplished it while being the league's most scrutinized, criticized, and televised player. Imagine setting records while avoiding criticism from the media every week.
Like, she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand, like, how crazy that is to do as a rookie, your first year doing this.
After the Olympic break, Caitlin made it a statement tour.
Take a look at this. These are the top 3 scorers in the WNBA since the women brought home gold in the Olympics a few weeks ago. 2 of the members are of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell.
Everyone with a working brain assumed that year 2 would be even more terrifying, but some analysts received courageous Bleacher reports. After the snub, she went ballistic, scoring 23 points per game and carrying Indiana like a backpack through the playoff push. She didn't just improve her game, though. She leveled up the entire roster while being watched closely, which would have crushed most players. Expert in the WNBA nuked Logic. In his 2025 rankings, Newcastle Duncan ranked Caitlin 5th, 5 spots below Alyssa Thomas, who scored an incredible 10.6 points per game on average. Yes, he believed Thomas was better deserving of MVP honors.
Caitlin Clark at 5 is crazy to me, and it's crazy to me just off the rip because if we look at the MVP voting from last season, she was number 4 in MVP voting. It was Asia, Nafisa, Brianna, and then Caitlin.
The reason for this is that despite breaking the all-time scoring record, ESPN used the same tired, "she hasn't won a ring yet" argument to claim that Caitlin wasn't among the top 5 college players of all time. This brought the sport into the mainstream and attracted more viewers than the men's championship game, but it wasn't in the top 5.
Here's the thing. Love Caitlin. Love how she's transcended the game. I'm not going to go away from that. But in the open, we said, what makes a top 5 player? Winning. The only strike against Caitlin Clark is that she has not won a national championship. And that is the only thing that you can put against her, because the way she has dominated the record books when she was at Iowa was something you cannot duplicate. She's a 3-time NCAA scoring leader and assist leader, a true point guard for the people, 3-time All-American, 2-time National Player of the Year, 2-time AP Player of the Year, all-time leading scorer. She broke the records of Kelsey Plum and Sabrina. Like, literally, there is nobody who has been such a front-facing name. It's a direct reflection of her skill set, but how can you be a top 5 player if you have not won a title?
It's a great point, which is why I agree with you.
The same story has been told over and over again. People have refused to give Caitlin flowers, and the same ESPN that once excluded her from the GOAT list now has her ahead of Asia Wilson and Nafisa Collier in the MVP race. Let's face it, though, it's a 3-horse race. After Brianna Stewart, the odds take a nosedive, and the rest are merely there for show. So what changed? The signs were always there. The roster moves the momentum, but once training camp opened, people finally opened their eyes to what Fever fans already saw in bold, glowing lights. The rest of the world is just now catching up to Let's Start with the biggest piece coaching.
And I told y'all this last year. Well, I didn't tell y'all this last year on air, but like we saw when they took the pictures with Christy Sides, like when she pulled up on them at All-Star game, her, Kelsey, and AB, and everybody just kind of like rolled their eyes and walked away like she was a groupie.
Yeah,
that told me everything I needed to know. So when I said like she's not it was based on 2 years of seeing things that just shouldn't have been happening in the first place.
Last season, Caitlin and the Fever were winning despite Christie's efforts. No one publicly stated it, but the awkward silences spoke loudly because Caitlin herself had alluded to it early on by pointing out the chemistry office's lack of sideline feedback and the frustrated fans' body language, which wasn't subtle either. They watched close games slip away because of careless rotations and disorganized sets, so Indiana made the best move they could enter the game. Stephanie White, a qualified basketball brainiac and 2023 Coach of the Year.
Yo, we cannot be short on that pass. We can't be short on that pass. One advantage that we have is that we're longish, right? So now we got to use our length. So don't make yourself small.
Even the skeptics are now acknowledging that this was a glow-up, which Fever supporters understood from the beginning. Stephanie contributes purpose, organization, and plays that make sense in reality.
Good job! Great rotation! Good! Good! Right? So you got to listen. You don't go until she says go. Yeah, she could stay. Yep, as soon as she says go, that's when you're going.
White's presence will win games, but more significantly, it will maximize Caitlin's cleaner offense, smarter subs movement purpose. And Caitlin feeding teammates who are actually in the right spot to score. Hello, assist explosion efficiency goes up, turnovers go down, wins stack up, and all of a sudden the MVP narrative isn't a debate, but a formality, and Caitlin is clearly feeling good. They essentially watched the Avengers in the front office of Indiana and said, yeah, let's do that. They added Brianna Turner, a walking defensive anchor, and Sophie Cunningham, a certified menace, the type of player who's chirping in your ear while draining threes in your face, to the roster. Every good team needs a player like Natasha Howard and Sydney Carlson, proven champions with championship DNA who know the grind and don't crumble when the lights get too bright. Indiana also got a gym.
Oh my God. Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. She's definitely an X factor.
And the vibe queen herself, Dana Bonner. Let's just say that Dana has already established herself as the team's emotional GPS. The players talk about her with respect and trust. She is a two-time champion who provides the steady hand this rocket ship needs, whether it be to calm nerves or focus. She is the steady heartbeat behind the flash.
I guess to that point, how does this kind of compare to what you are used to?
Oh, man. Yeah, totally different atmosphere. The support here has been just phenomenal. I really can't go anywhere. I've been here like a week and a half, and everywhere I go, it's just like, we're excited for the season. Thank you for being here. So it's been really, really refreshing, and I'm just happy to be here.
But according to Seattle's Lexi Brown, who has witnessed it all, it's not just about stacking resumes. It's about chemistry. This team is locked in, with the big personalities shouting, the younger players listening, the veterans leading Coach White setting the standard, and you can feel the culture shift from the sideline to the locker room. This team appears united, dangerous, and hungry now that everything is in place. The WNBA's old guard party is being crashed by Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force officially starting her MVP season, and guess who isn't excited? A'ja Wilson is quiet, but it's beginning to sound like a panic attack. You can practically hear the teeth clenching beneath the forced smiles during press conferences while Reed drafts a subweet. Sun for it.
But you have a Natasha Howard and a DeWanna Bonner that can just straight up go get their own bucket. And they're huge, okay? These are tall people, okay, guys? I think they're both like 6'3" and 6'4", right? So matchup nightmare. Sophie Cunningham has been playing out of position in Phoenix for like 3 years. So she probably will get to go play the 3 again. She's a very underrated defender. And now you have very elite rim protection in Bree Turner. So now you go keep Aaliyah Boston out of foul trouble, which means she's going to be able to stay on the court. So, do I think that they are a contender? Yes, I do.
Think about this. After years of struggling for recognition, the Indiana Fever are now a team that is not to be missed. They are selling a lot of tickets. Their sales of merchandise are through the roof, and their social media presence is booming. Clark's jerseys are more popular than those of almost every other WNBA player, and even some NBA celebrities. This is economic validation, not simply hype. Her name carries weight, her face sells her game, and the numbers support it all. Interview. She has demonstrated that when a WNBA club invests in the right players, it can turn into a profit center rather than a financial liability.
Everybody knows we have so much talent, but at the same time, you got to put that together. It's not going to be like, all right, you have all these great players, step out on the court, it's going to work. It's going to take a little bit of time, figure things out, figure out how everybody works with one another. So, DB's been tremendous, and obviously, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. Is we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and just the way she talks and she leads. For me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the end of her career. She deserves it.
Caitlin in her sophomore year, she's more seasoned. She has had time to rest. She's had time to really regroup and see exactly where she wants to go. Obviously, they have a ton of new players, new coach.